So I started dancing when I was about 3 or 4 years old, so about 15, 16 years ago. And I started out doing ballet and I've loved it ever since. Honestly, it was one of those things where I feel like every little girl dances or just soccer or something, and so my older sister Katie danced too, and so when it was my turn around, I feel like, I don't really have a memory of this, but my mom was always like I wanted to follow in my sister's footsteps and everything and go to our dance studio. Ballet is what I mostly did throughout since I was 3 or 4 all the way until my senior year of high school. And I did some jazz at some point, but I ended up just focusing on ballet and everything to get better at that. But now that I'm in college and in Blank Canvas Dance Company, which is an organization on campus, I've been doing a lot more like lyrical and contemporary and getting back into jazz, which has been super fun to, push myself out of my comfort zone and everything. So I definitely say like my favorite would be lyrical now because it's very similar to ballet, but ballet is where I'm most tied to. My sister, again, my older sister, she also went here, and her second semester, her freshman year, she found Blank Canvas, and it's all levels, all styles, which, for her and I was really great because it was very similar to our home dance studio. And for me, I realized that in high school, when I realized I was really struggling with anxiety and everything, dance was the one place where I could go to class or rehearsal and I'd be so focused on the movement, I could be having like the most stressful or anxious day ever, but dance, focusing on something else made me not feel anxious. And so when I got to college and knew that this great company like Blank Canvas existed that was very similar to my home dance studio, I just felt like I had to keep doing it just because it's such a good stress reliever for me. And even now, even when I have gobs of homework to do, or I remember I had an econ midterm last year and I was so stressed out about it, and I would have to stop studying and go to rehearsal, but right before rehearsal I was like, but I got to keep studying, like I don't have time for this. But then once I get into rehearsal, like it did so much for my mental health to help me like decompress and not stress. Growing up, being classically trained in ballet and everything, like it was one of those things where following all the rules wasn't something, to coincide with my anxiety, it was something I had control over. And so like I would really focus on trying to perfect those little minute details and everything. But I think it's really cool because now this year, my sophomore year, I had the opportunity to choreograph for Blank Canvas. And so I'm actually doing it with one of my best friends from my dance studio at home. And it's just really cool because it's the first time where I'm like kind of getting to like bend the rules a little bit and kind of like go my own way and like express ourselves in this really unique way. I think moments leading up to performances, I would definitely get more anxious and everything. Like my senior year in the Nutcracker, which was the ballet we did around Christmas time, I was the Sugar Plum Fairy, and that's kind of known as like one of the hardest dances in the show and stuff, and it's a very coveted role to have, and like I was so honored to be given that part. But I remember, even though my dance teachers and everything had been like, Sarah, you know this dance very well and everything, like you're doing great, I still like had this kind of fear that I wasn't going to live up to almost like the hype of that dance and everything. And so I remember like right before the shows where I was the Sugar Plum Fairy, I would get pretty anxious and everything just because I was like, what if I mess up? And like, everyone messes up on stage. It's just the reality of being thrown into a dance and everything. But it was hard when, being a point dancer, my ankle would roll a little bit, and because I was doing it, I was like, I just messed up the whole dance and stuff. But then like I talked to my friends, they were like, you rolled your ankle, we didn't even notice. So definitely like a mixed bag, and I think most that like dance related anxiety does come from like the moment right before performing. During all this time of uncertainty and everything, dance has been the one constant. And my senior year of high school, our spring recital, Alice in Wonderland, and I was Alice. And I was very excited, just to have that opportunity and everything. And, March came around, school shut down, dance shut down, and we were actually able to continue doing rehearsal and stuff over Zoom. And even though it wasn't the same, it was like the one thing during the week that felt like it was normal. And then, of course, we were able to have our recital in a virtual format where, each person came and did their dance and they filmed it and then they edited it together. And I've gotten to continue that with Blank Canvas and everything. Even during first semester, we would do virtual classes, which has just been very nice during all of this time of crazy uncertainty to have one thing that is constant.
Okay.